All right, let's talk about something fundamental for any developer: unit testing and test-driven development. We're going to tackle this Q&A style, and we're starting with a question that, let's be honest, every single one of us has asked at some point.
I mean, seriously, right? Your code compiles, you've clicked around, it seems to do what it's supposed to do. So why on earth would you spend even more time trying to break the very thing you just poured hours into building? It feels totally backwards. But here's the thing. It works means a whole lot more than just, it doesn't crash on my machine.
So to really answer that, we need to zoom out a bit and look at the whole testing landscape. See, testing isn't one single activity. It's really 3 different levels, kind of like 3 lines of defense for your code. Let's take a quick look.
Okay, first up, you've got unit testing. This is the ground floor, the most fundamental level. We're talking about testing the tiniest, most isolated pieces of your code. A single function, a single class. You're just making sure your individual Lego bricks are perfectly formed. And this one? Yeah, this one is on us, the developers who actually wrote the code.
Then you zoom out a level to integration testing. Now, it's not about the individual bricks anymore. It's about how they snap together. Do these different pieces, these different modules, actually work with each other correctly? Does the data flow from one part to the next without getting messed up? That's what we're checking here.
And finally, you've got the big one, system testing. Now we're testing the whole thing, the entire fully assembled Lego castle. You're not looking at individual bricks or connections, you're looking at the finished product from the outside, just like a user would. Does it actually do what the requirement said it should do?
So those are the 3 main levels. But for the rest of this conversation, we're going to zero in on our part of the deal, the developer's responsibility. Because what we do at that unit test level is, well, it's pretty unique.
And this chart here really spells it out. When we, as developers, are writing unit tests, we're doing what's called white box testing. Think of it like a mechanic, with the hood of the car open. We can see everything, all the source code, the internal logic, every wire and pipe. But testers? They're usually doing black box testing. They're just driving the car. They don't know or care how the engine works, just that when they press the gas, it goes. Our job is to make sure the engine itself is built right from the inside. Okay, but that leads to a really tricky question, doesn't it? If I wrote the code, how can I possibly be the right person to test it? I'm biased. My entire goal was to make it work. My brain is literally wired to prove it's awesome, not to find all the ways it's broken. It just feels like a huge conflict of interest.
And you know what? That's 100% right. It is a conflict. To do this effectively, you have to completely shift your perspective. You have to learn to switch from your builder hat to your breaker hat. It's all about adopting the testing mindset.
This really gets to the heart of the problem. As a developer, your job is to make things work. Success is the goal. But as a tester, your job is to make things break. Failure is the goal. These 2 goals are polar opposites, and that's exactly why people say developers are often the worst testers of their own code. We're just not wired to want to see it fail.
So what's the solution to this dilemma? Well, maybe we're thinking about testing all wrong. This quote from Boris Bezer is fantastic. More than the act of testing, the act of designing tests is one of the best bug preventers known. What if the point of a test wasn't just to find a bug that's already there? What if the very process of thinking about how to test your code could actually help you prevent bugs from ever being written in the first place?
And that idea leads us directly to a better way, a methodology that totally flips the script. It's called test-driven development, or TDD for short, and it's designed specifically to solve this exact problem.
The whole concept is right there in the name. With test-driven development, you write your unit tests before you write the actual code. Think about that. You don't write a single line of your new feature until you've first written a test that will fail because that feature doesn't exist yet. The test literally drives the development.
And it all works in this really simple, elegant cycle. It's called red, green, refactor. First, red. You write a test for something that doesn't exist yet. You run it, and of course, it fails. That's your red light. Then, green. You write the absolute bare minimum code needed to make that one test pass. Nothing fancy. Just get the light to turn green. And finally, refactor. Now that you have a working test as a safety net, you can go back and clean up your code, make it better, more efficient, without being afraid you're going to break something. And then you just repeat the cycle for the next little piece of the feature. So why does this simple little cycle work so well? Well, first off, it gives you an incredibly clear finish line. How do you know when you're done? When all the tests pass. It also forces you to write simpler, leaner code because you're only ever writing just enough to satisfy the next test. And
maybe the best part, you automatically build up this amazing safety net of tests. So a year from now, when someone needs to change something, they can run the tests and know instantly if they broke anything. It completely shifts your focus from chasing down bugs to building quality in from the very beginning.
Which brings us right back to the core idea. After everything we've talked about, what do you think? Is the whole point of testing to find bugs after they've already been made, or is it to help you design your code in a way that prevents them from ever happening in the first place? It's a pretty big shift in thinking, right?
And that's our look at TDD. Hey, if you got something out of this, do me a favor and share it with your team. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for tuning in, and happy coding.